Welcome back to Coffee with Coach, presented by Tim Hortons. I'm Andrew Mossbrooks, and for one final time, we are joined by Amherst head coach Seth Apps. There's clearly a big ticket item that everyone wants to talk about, but I'd love to start with what I think you enjoy most, and that's talking about your players and the teams you've coached. The Amherst have wrapped up the 23-24 season. It didn't end the way anybody would have wanted it to, but you've had some days now. How do you reflect on the group of players you had?
Well, it was a great season with not the finish you wanted, and that's the reality. And with the exception of one team in the American League, that'll be the case. And this North Division, as we've talked about, is such a bear. And I think Syracuse and us are both teams that could contend to win the Eastern Conference and then go on from there. I don't know the Western Conference as well. So, but you have to play each other in the first round because that's how good the North Division is. And it was a great 5-game series, and unfortunately we fell on the wrong side of it this year where we won the last 2 seasons, but that shouldn't take away from the success of the season. We tied for first place in this division. We had a lot of great things that happened from a team perspective, from an individual player perspective, both with the prospects and with some of our veterans, and it was a team I really loved to coach.
Let's go on that individual perspective. The AHL is about developing players, and there were several young prospects at this level. It's probably hard to not just take a cop-out and say they all were great, but who were some of the individuals that you feel stood out that can not only help the Amherst in the future, but potentially the Sabres as well?
Well, I think from a prospect perspective, you have to go right away to Kulik and Roseanne, right? I mean, they're 19 and 20 years old for most of the season, and they were not support players anymore. They were go-to guys. They had the bullseye on them, and they had to lead us. And when they played well, we won. And there's a lot of pressure with that at that age. So I think Tyson Kozak, with the exception of his injuries this year, took a massive step forward. He is absolutely going to be a guy that wears the Sabres jersey one of these days. He's a perfect bottom 6 energy checking, tenacious player. Obviously, Neuchev and Novikov had really good rookie seasons. That not easy to do what they did this year. The language barrier, being young Russians over here the first time in North America, playing big roles, playing a lot of minutes. So there's a lot of good things, and obviously in goal, Devin Levi in the second half that he had. And it seems like that's almost like a given. Of course. Well, he's a rookie. Just because he's had NHL experience, he's still a young rookie goaltender, and young rookie goaltenders usually don't have the level of success that he had in the American Hockey League this year.
Well, the AHL is not exclusive to developing players. Front office members, hockey ops, they are part of it too. And it was announced Monday morning that you will be departing the Amherst after 4 seasons to become an assistant coach for the Buffalo Sabres, entering the 24-25 season. Apps, your coaching career began in 1999. What does it mean some almost 3 decades later to achieve this goal and be in the NHL?
Yeah, I'm thrilled for the opportunity. I'm excited to get to work on a staff with Lindy and Ellie and Marty and Balesy and the great staff up there. A lot of NHL experience, and obviously Lindy's one of the winningest coaches of all time. And so to get to be around that and to learn from him and to help him is extremely exciting. I think for me, it makes it more special because I get to stay within the organization. When Kevin hired me 4 years ago, organizationally we weren't in a great spot, and maybe in either spot. And I'm proud of what we've done. Have we got all the way there? No, but we've done some great things here in Rochester. We've developed a lot of players, and Buffalo's a lot closer to being a winning team and contending team than they were 4 years ago. And for me, it's an opportunity to try to see it through. And that excites me because I've invested a lot in this organization, and I know the men inside that locker room up there. I've coached a lot of them, and so I'm excited to have the opportunity to go up there with them.
And Susie Cool have sat in this chair before myself, but the one to my right hasn't changed. As we go to end this episode and this season of Coffee with Coach, this era of Coffee with Coach, I feel like you should be the one to send us off. And so this last question I'll ask you, we've asked you about how the players feel about being in Amherst, but what did it mean for you to be in Amherst and be in the city of Rochester?
Oh, I'm incredibly proud. I'll be in Amherst for life, because that's the way I was treated, and so I was embraced here by our support staff, our front office, by the city, by our players especially. And so it makes you feel at home. It makes us feel like this is a home to you. And this is an incredibly special place. And I will forever be an Amherst and a proud Amherst.